everyone, welcome to another Vexy's Violet video. Today's first prompt is going to be this assortment of items. So it'll be the location of the first prompt. And this is it. So this is supposed to be like a stylized witch hut kind of thing. So it's made out of like birch and oak and stuff. And it's not in the swamp, of course, but you can kind of see around here is like there's lots of like crates of gold, and these are supposed to be like fermented spider eyes, carrots. In other words, these are all ingredients for making potions. These are supposed to be barrels of arrows and stuff, because the witch in question also makes like lingering arrows, as you can see in here. And there's also this little like pool of water here that's supposed to be like a well or reservoir of water where the witch can like draw out water with this cauldron thing here, which I thought was a nice touch. This is supposed to be a giant like bottle of dragon's breath, which is used to make lingering potions, which are used to make the tipped arrows. So it's also got like a little tap on here next to it as well. Figured all of that would be pretty thematic. In here, this is kind of a big table in the middle of kind of a potion brewing area. There's like supposed to be chests of blaze rods and glass bottles, this witch would have a stockpile of. Just ran a water cauldron. It's thematic. There's some bookshelves, and flowers and candles. And this is actually like a book that came from an April Fool's update, which I don't remember what it was called, but it's one where you got like tons of different portals you could make, and a lot of them lead to, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it was really weird looking, and you could get these books at the time. So I got a bunch, and that's one of them. I actually put some of them into the prop machine because I thought that might be interesting. And there's a little, like, basement thing down here, which is, like, all black and scary and stuff. And there's a crying obsidian. This is just supposed to be, like, a interesting, like, relic or something that this witch would keep hidden in her basement. I just thought that was an interesting touch. And there's a staircase over here. It's got some more like books under it. You can see right there. But it goes up to this area, and there was a witch in here. I don't know where she's gone. Maybe she despawned or something. But okay, we'll just say the witch is like out doing something. Not that she mysteriously disappeared. But there's like a bed. There's candles. There's a table with a pot with flour on it. And some barrels of things, more candles, and a little like table and chair. And this is going to be the second prompt. Here we are. So this one took me a while, as you can see. This is a little village that's on like the shoreline, and there's a bunch of like piers, docks and stuff. Got a big boat here with the flag folded up because it's like docked here. And there's lots of like cargo and stuff, or places where they would store cargo anyway, because these are like merchant ships. All the villagers are supposed to be like the crew of the ship. It's their beds and stuff. There's a golem here, which spawned naturally. So, I just call it like ship's cat, which is I think is kind of a funny name. Over this way, there's kind of like a bit of a wall that goes around the village. As much to keep the villagers from wandering out and dying as it is to keep the mobs out, because I've been working with villagers a lot lately, and it is becoming apparent to me that they're very adept at getting themselves stuck in places and dying and stuff like that. There's a blue flower thing here. There's lots of those kind of interspersed around the village, because like the theme of the village is the color blue, pretty much. That's what I did for a lot of places. In this kind of like town center kind of thing, you can see I did a bunch of texturing and stuff to make the rocks look kind of worn and old, lighter patches and darker patches. Probably didn't turn out as well as I hoped it would, but I think it's cool anyway. There's another little dock there that's not got anything. There's a bunch of buoys in the water. They glow at night, so like when people are coming in at night, they can sort of see it's there, so they don't drive into the rock. It's also what the lighthouse is for, but the buoys are so you can like define the shape of the island. Or the coastline there. This one's the island. It's got an actual like brazier on it. So ships like that one coming in at night would be able to tell there's like a island there and they don't want to drive into it. This ship over here is supposed to be from a different land, as it were, because it's like in different woods. It's got like a special symbol on the sail. It's like a sun, and there, yeah. The crew or the people of this land are husks, is what they're supposed to be, and they all have names that are kind of silly, which like first mate Bog, because it's a husk making zombie noises. Over here is Captain, which is the first one I did, and the first time when I put the armor on, I figured, oh, okay, this is good. This means all husks will pick up armor. But it turns out I just got lucky because I wasn't able to get any of the husks after that to pick up armor. So the captain's special. Only one that still has armor on other than that is this guy, who just spawned naturally with leather. So maybe he's special. There also was a baby one that spawned. So yeah. So also there's like lots of rates and stuff, a few conduits they'd be hoping to like trade for or something when they go to the port over there. And over here, this is like where the rest of the cargo is. It's basically piled up this way. And on this side, there's like just a bunch of beds, because that's where the husk people would sleep. There's also this little effect thing I put down here, which is to make it look like it's moving. It's breaking through the water, so you can see all like the foam suds and stuff that you might expect to see when there's a ship moving through the water that fast. Over in this area, there's a lighthouse here, which I thought looked kind of cool, with using like the navy blue indigo kind of color of blue terracotta, which is, I think, probably the only block in the game that has a hue like that. So it's pretty cool, in my opinion. There's also this thing, which is, it's a little weird looking, because I couldn't get it to stay spinning in one direction in here, because F3G, you can see there's a chunk border going like through the middle of this thing. So any redstone clocks I put in here had to be like on one side of the chunk border or the other, because if you have a redstone clock that is intersected by a chunk border and you go away, like you unload the chunks, sometimes it will just like make it freeze up and stop working. And I originally had a spinning redstone clock to make the lights spin around the lighthouse, like you would expect it to happen. But it was on the chunk border, so it didn't work. So I had to change it to this little like flickering thing, which is cool, I guess. So it's a shame I couldn't get to do the spinning thing since I decided to put it on the the chunk border. Over here, there's Coasttown Lighthouse, because this place is called Coasttown. So I decided to call it. It's just basically somebody's house. Flowers and armor bits. I'm saying like the lighthouse keeper was like a former adventurer or something, and then he retired and became a lighthouse keeper. And it's here, there's more stuff. There's an elytra, loaded into the adventure thing. Those up here, this is supposed to be an area where you can like access the machinery of the lighthouse. Though you can't actually do it, it's just supposed to look like you can. Down here, we have a bunch of like piles of crates, chests, and stuff. They just got banners in front of them. They're supposed to show they're like reserved. Yeah, they're kind of like reserved. Like this banner is same as this one over here. See? So all those crates probably came off of the ship or are going to go on that ship. And that's like how they keep track of which is which. There's lots of other little houses in here. Like, that's a fisherman house. This is supposed to be like a brewer house. You can see the nether warts. There's a brewing stand back there. And here, these guys. These are supposed to be phantom hunters. Because one of the items I got in the prompt was phantom membrane. This is supposed to be like a barrel of phantom membrane. The story is like they go up on this tower and they kill the phantoms when they come in fight trying to kill them. Down here, this guy is supposed to be a candle maker. Yeah. He's actually escaped like 2 or 3 times, or at least escaped once. He managed to like somehow get over the fence and got stuck here. And another time he got like stuck back here because he couldn't climb back up because it was too steep. And I eventually had to just put a bunch of barriers all on the side to keep that specific villager from getting away. So, there's also two bells in here because apparently the village is just big enough that some of the villagers would get confused, not be able to get to the bell during at their like afternoon gossip time or whatever it's called. I think that's the technical term for it. And over here, this is like a library. This is Coasttown Library. And here, there's library. I did a thing with chiseled bookshelves, which I've shown a few times before, which is I only put in the books of certain colors because in chiseled bookshelves, each slot is a special color of book, but it's always going to be that color, regardless of which book you put in it. So when I put this in here, I only use the blue ones, as it preserves the color of the room, I guess, even if it looks weird to have the books put in that fashion. This is just where the librarian dude lives. There's also a chain chest plate thing there. That would look good. Here, this is kind of just a gather place. The main one, since that's the one I had to add after the village was too big. But lots of other guys. There's this one, Serious Traveler, who lives with Smuckle, which is he's supposed to be in the inn, which I was supposed to do in a minute, which I'll look at in a minute. But apparently something weird happened with I had an extra bed or something, which I shouldn't have done, because that confused the villagers, and some people like migrated to different houses, and he ended up going into this house. So I guess the mysterious traveler just decided to settle down and become a fisherman. Over here, this is just like a random little like hovel I put together after noticing some of the villagers would get stuck some places and not be able to find their beds. So that way they can at least sleep. And here's the inn. So in here, big fireplace. I used soul fire just to keep the blue vibe going on. So that was cool. I used armor stands right here to be like a table legs. It's nighttime. They're going to sleep. Yep. That way I can actually put stuff on the trapdoors here. So it would actually like make sense and stuff. Here's Oliver the Trolley Merchant. Just having a fish or something here. He just sits there. Though in the story it's just like he's visiting. There's a bunch of like bits of Phantom all over the place as well. And that, which is supposed to be like a really crude like stuffed animal Phantom. It's huge. I forgot to say it is called the Parched Phantom. Yeah, that's the name of the inn. So it's like Phantom themed stuff there. And up this way, there's like guest rooms and stuff. Apparently these guys have decided to live in here. I actually had to put like doors up here as well, because they would get confused trying to get to the beds and they just like stand on the roof forever. There's also a bunch of iron golems all over the place. They spawned and I gave them names. There's like 4 of them. They're all some variant of Chugger. I figured that'd be fun. There's also some big like chimneys here to work with the look down here. Yep, there's like for the fireplace, and the other one I think is for this thing, which is this is in the kitchen area as well. Just got a bunch of like extra drinks, a plate. This is like a supply closet where some of the kitchen staff would sleep. This is supposed to be where the tavern keeper would sleep. He's got some other weird odds and ends, school or an allium. There's a chest with some maps in it, because those are copies of what I have over here. And this is like a Coasttown community board. And they've got a bunch of like adverts and stuff for yearly festivities or golden service when needed. You know, stuff like that. Now hiring other adverts. Over here, these are map art poster things I made. I went all the way up to the end dimension because there's a lot of empty space there, and I don't think I'm probably going to be building in the end anytime soon, so it won't be in my way. Here's like a missing poster. Last seen fishing off the Wilderness Coast. The Wilderness Coast is the other continent I made that's supposed to be entirely wilderness. And this is supposed to be like a water poster. There's also a lightning rod here. Yeah, and the wandering trader has this like little wagon. That's the end of the episode. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.